Everyone, welcome back to the Boi Soup. Today we have myself, Nick, we have Jacob,
Right.
and we have Trent.
Howdy.
And I think we have a Devin and a Jordan in the background, but I'm not sure if they're present.
They're not important in this matter.
Yeah, piss off.
Well, at any rate, today, essentially, myself, Jacob, and Trent thought we would rate Pokemon starters. It looks like gens 1 through 8, right?
Yeah. It seems
All the recent
All 8
yeah.
gens, okay.
Yeah.
So, today we're going to come to a consensus and agree on ranking every starter Pokemon, gens 1 through 8. Should we start by gen or start by type?
I
say we start by generation.
Yeah,
Okay.
start by
I
generation.
mean, like, okay, so are we going by design?
We're going by
Well,
design,
personal
personal
and
preference, and how good it is in the
they're
game.
Yeah. Not put
I
it
ma-
back, Hitchcock. Not yet.
I make this.
Not yet. No, not yet.
Are we?
I think, yeah, let's, what do you, well, yeah, there you go. I think, personally, starting with Bulbasaur, as it's the grass type, I think Bulbasaur is an S tier. I think that Bulbasaur is a really strong in the game. Bulbasaur is, it's hard to fault it.
I think Bulbasaur is the best starter for the games, but its design and later evolutions, in my opinion, are not the best, and its moveset is not the best. It doesn't get a lot of high-powered grass-type moves in the first generation. I could not give it higher than just a basic A tier.
I could go A plus. I think A plus.
Immediately
Is
an
best.
S tier.
Um,
I mean, like, nostalgia is gonna be a big problem in this because
I actually have only played through.
Okay.
No, put it back. Put it back. You're not getting your decisions, Hitchcock. We
No,
haven't discussed
I'm
this.
putting in a posit. This is just. I think he belongs here.
No.
You get to make.
I
we
think-
don't, I'm not. That's not his final position, dumbass.
Well,
I think it's hard to put Charmander lower
I
than
mean, he's so fucking iconic.
he really
I
is.
think Charizard, icon. I don't know. If you're gonna base it off of just iconic, we could just go through this list in general and do all the earlier ones. Charizard is without a doubt the worst starter for its games.
But I mean, design-wise, like
He gets bodied.
I
do not think.
so. This I could agree with. They all belong. I think. I mean,
I think it's hard to put one higher than the other. I think that I would
we're
agree
letting
with this.
nostalgia take control.
Okay.
Charmander, in my opinion, should not be higher than A tier.
No, I think Charmander just belongs up there, especially when you account for different games that it also appears in,
Squirtle
along
is the
with
only one that I
Gen
think
1 games.
deserves A plus tier in the originals. I think nostalgia is blinding y'all.
Well,
but,
no,
you know.
because I'm also looking at other games that they've appeared in.
Okay, well, if you look at other games, Charizard does become a decent Pokemon, but he's still nowhere near the best, even the best fire starter.
I think that along with his Mega Evolutions and his moveset especially, I think that it's hard to separate them out of A+. I think all three of them belong there.
E tier. If we're I thought it was Finnegan. Not him. No. Oh, it's
no.
next.
I think I agree with Nick. Solid A plus for all of them.
Yeah.
I'll concede that. I'll concede that.
Okay. All right, Gen 2.
I don't think any of them deserve below A tier, by the way.
Not
So,
for sure.
Starting
For sure.
with my baby boy, my baby,
Totodile.
my baby boy.
Totodile is awesome.
I
wouldn't go S tier. I think
I'm reserving S tier for literally the cream of the crop.
He's
and
one of my favorite. Okay, let me make an.
Oh,
argument.
design-wise, he is
one
the
of my
best designed Johto.
I mean, he's like so fucking sick.
And I loved his personality in the anime. I'm gonna say A tier again.
I think I would agree with A tier.
Yeah,
I don't think he.
He doesn't get any mega evolutions like the Johto.
You
starter
better.
kind of-
Chikorita belongs in E for sure. Chikorita objectively sucks.
I disagree. I think Chikorita deserves at least D.
I could agree with
I
that.
know. I don't agree with it at all. I think that not only
I mean, we
I'm
can
pretty sure
readjust
Chikorita
later.
has one of the lowest base stat totals, but Chikorita is just bad.
It'd been a lot better if they made it a fairy type
I'm gonna
later on.
say Cyndaquil. I think
Cyndaquil's the definition of mid. B
I
would be.
would agree with B. I would agree with B.
I like the design.
That was my go-to.
Boring.
That was my go-to starter in Gen 2, but he's kind of just eh.
Okay, so we're looking at Trico, Mudkip, and
This is gonna be the
Torchic.
hardest one.
These are really good.
Trico's S.
Honestly, I
S
can't
tier.
fault with that.
Septile
I can't fault
S
with that.
tier. If anyone, I mean, like in this one, I'm torn.
No,
but I think
I
A+.
think The reason I'm going to actually argue that Torchic deserves an A tier for the only reason argument is his second form looks
kind of
stupid as hell.
Yeah,
Kinda
it's a little
dopey.
derpy.
But still,
plus,
I mean,
he
also just
honestly
still a
did-
great fucking Pokemon.
Also, he
Yeah.
honestly didn't get the best moveset in the original games, to be honest.
Well, and that's
Of course,
just partly because.
Neither did Trico.
Well, I think that's partly because the moves just didn't exist.
That's fair. Mudkip S tier.
Mudkip,
Mudkip,
it's hard to not go S.
If
I
you're,
mean, like,
if you're wanting
fuck
to talk
all
about,
its evolutions. Mudkip S tier.
if you're wanting to talk about relatively the best starter, like the starter that could beat you any of the Pokemon games, Marshtomp is the starter I would go with every time.
Marshtomp is a really, really good choice. I
It's-
think that's solid.
It's bulky. It can't be taken down. Water ground is just such a good.
Here's what I see. These are classic. These are the gold standard.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
These are. Like I want to keep them as a trio, but like
No,
it's
I
hard for
think-
me.
No.
These
Yeah.
these just all have just genuinely interesting designs.
As good as Blaziken actually is, I do think and I'm basing this off of just since they're all they're all really good for their game, to be honest.
I just can't have any literally I cannot see currently of what we've put on here, nothing tops Trico for me.
Sceptile's design's immaculate.
It's-
Its Mega Evolution made it even better.
It's just a cool Pokemon.
Its speed, it's one of the fastest Pokemon.
All right, going into Gen 4. Piplup, I would give a B personally. I think that Piplup's a good Pokemon.
Give Piplup. I'm gonna say Piplup deserves an C.
See?
What makes you say that?
Primplup, in my opinion, is a very awkward evolution.
And not near as awkward as Combuskin.
And
Not
Boleon,
as near
dude.
as awkward, but
It's consistent. He's like a little baby. He
The
becomes like a
argument- the
knight, and then he
argument that
becomes
I'm
like a fucking king.
the argument that I'm going to state that I think is to Piplup's detriment is that it is no longer resistant to fire type in its final evolution, and it's weak to Chimchar's Infernape's fighting type, which makes it a worse combatant in because it's supposed to be Chimchar's superior.
That's a good point.
That's a good argument.
I still think B is a good place to put it.
I say C. If y'all say both say B, put it in B. But I do think that one weakness making it.
I'm okay with that. I legit hate Chikorita.
I
If
was
y'all gonna
thinking-
put him in E, I do think Piplup deserves in C. I think adding that steel.
I
type,
think
which was a good compliment.
keeping Chikorita in B or D is fine with me.
Chikorita
Just
is
keep her in-
just so nothing to me that
I liked it in the anime, to be honest.
We can keep it in D because I do have a candidate for E later. So.
But that's my opinion on Piplup. So
I think Turtwig
Turtwig, yeah,
lowest I
agree.
would go is A plus.
I agree with that.
love.
I do
Turtwig.
not think it did.
is he better or worse than the OG?
He's
Starters?
better than Bulbasaur. He's better than Bulbasaur and Charmander. Not as good as
Not
Squirtle,
better
in
than
my opinion.
Squirtle. I would agree with that.
Squirtle's
yeah.
iconic. Fucking.
You're gonna have to move Turtwig. There you go. Yeah, I would agree with that order.
I would actually already agree. I think that Torchic is better than Totodile. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'll try not to let
I would
my
agree
personal
with that.
bias.
I would agree with
I
that.
love Feraligatr so fucking much, but I mean,
I do
I mean,
too.
all the Gen 3 starters are just so solid design wise.
As for Chimchar, I think Chimchar goes in A tier, personally,
agree.
and I think
it is not as good as Torchic, but better than Totodile.
see, it's hard for me because Combuskin is so much worse than Monferno, and
It is,
the other
but
forms.
Blaziken, in my opinion, is better than Infernape.
But I would also posit that Chimchar is cooler than Torchic.
I'm not basing it off coolness. I'm basing it off of better design wise. Blaziken to me, the fighting chicken aspect is cooler than the Journey to the West Fire Monkey aspect. Specifically because Blaziken does get speed boost as its hidden ability, which is an absolutely broken ability.
Yeah, but you got to look at if you brought up the anime. Look at Ash's Infernape in the anime with Blaze. That mess was rad.
Yeah, but Blaze is nowhere near as good in the games.
And that's true. But I mean,
I think Torchic is better. If y'all
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. Now we're moving on to Unova. We have Snivy, Oshawott, and Tepig.
Tepig deserves to be an E.
I disagree. I think
It's
Tepig.
trash.
I think Tepig is a C
Yeah.
because I actually
I
enjoyed
don't.
Tepig.
I think
Can I make
Tepig.
this argument?
No,
No.
I absolutely disagree with that.
It's such a
I
boring
fully.
design.
I personally
I would
think
put
Snivy's an
I would
A.
put- I think Snivy C. I agree with Hitchcock. It's C.
I
I
do
think it's better than Tepig.
Yeah,
though.
I do
It's
agree
better
with
than
that.
Tepig. Tepig to me should have been on 4 legs. It should have been step on 4 legs and become like a dark boar, like a fire dark type.
That
and
would have
like
been
this
cool.
Boar. I don't like the fact they went 3 fighting types in a row.
I don't like Oshawott. I think
C,
Oshawott's
I don't
objectively
think any
worse.
of the Unova starters beat C, in my opinion.
I don't.
I have a
like
soft spot for Oshawott. I do like
If
it
you're
more
gonna
than,
be- if you're
I
gonna
like it
talk
more than
about-
Tepig.
If you're gonna, it is better than Tepig. But Tepig is absolutely awful.
Now here's the
Pignite
question.
looks like a really stupid little thing. Oshawott's better than Snivy, in my opinion.
Disagree with that. I honestly still think that Snivy should be B.
Look, Snivy's just
if
a
you're
fucking copy-paste remake of Trico.
If you're looking,
Snivy's
at,
just a big ass snake. That's
if
awesome.
you're looking at what starter is best for the game, and this is what it comes down to between Snivy and Oshawott at this point. Oshawott is better for the game than Snivy.
I just cannot get behind Samurott. The
I
design of
personally think
Samurott is just
Samurot's
goofy.
a really cool design, but
I liked Oshawott. I enjoyed Duwat, and then it just got completely out of left field for Samurott.
okay. What are we keeping Snivy ahead?
I
of
can
Oshawott
I
then?
can live with that order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, coming into let's see, that was
A
Unova.
plus,
So we're
A
in
plus in my opinion.
Froakie. I would nearly put S.
I would make the argument S too.
I would
Is
make
he
the
better
argument
than
S because
Squirtle?
Greninja,
Is he better?
Yes.
Objectively, yes.
Greninja is better than Squirtle.
For sure.
It's fast. It gets that cool ability where it changes its type. It can learn better move sets. It's just relatively, in my opinion.
Okay, so this is one that I think is interesting. I'm not putting it at B. I'm just like kind of.
I'd like it for B.
I think A.
I like
really,
Finnegan.
I did like gameplay.
A fire psychic type? That's awesome.
Gameplays wise, I enjoyed it. The design.
It
was
was
cool.
a ripoff of the Vicini from Unova that they just made into a starter. In my opinion, it was a lackluster design. I didn't enjoy it. I say E.
So
It is with Chikorita. I would put Finnegan with Chikorita. God no, it could not.
I
be better
think
than C.
I think it goes at the end of C, personally.
at the end of C.
Because honestly,
I
I would put it in
I'll
B.
concede that.
So I think C is a
We
good
have to
place
have
for
a
it.
fire type break into S here, but I do know a fire type that I think will. In my opinion.
I don't think there's a single fire type that gets into S tier in my opinion. No, sorry. Not my opinion. Can we
about-
We need to
what
put
about
Chespin.
What about this
E?
one?
He's the E. He is the E.
He is not the E.
He is
I fully.
awful.
He's better than
What
Chikorita.
about
Put
this
Chikorita. Put Chikorita back in D because I have a firm E
God.
collection. I like Chespin. I think that Chespin's cool.
Chespin is, none of its evolutions look good. It's awful for its game.
I think it's cool.
I mean, like it's also competing with with fucking this
Froakie,
kid.
without a doubt, is the only one that is decent in that trio.
Froakie was awesome. I enjoyed Finnegan, but I also didn't hate Chespin. So
I think Chespin should be bottom. He's the worst starter in my opinion.
no, I fully disagree with that.
I don't know.
I'll still say
Poplio, I don't
know.
love its
I
design.
say E. Sorry for Poplio. I say E.
Popplio, I would go D.
Look at this.
No, we have to have an E, and Popplio is getting in
No.
the E.
Okay, no.
No. Salazzle will be in my E. I'm just saying.
What the fuck? No, my dude.
Every form of Salazzle looks stupid. It looks goofy.
How does
I
this
think
look
it's bad.
dumb?
No, that's Litten, Hitchcock.
Oh. E.
So,
No, I think Popplio's higher than
Do
E.
you agree with E?
I
It's
think-
two-person. It goes in E then.
I'm a doopy fucking walrus.
First of all, they had like 4 other seal Pokemon. Secondly, its final form looks stupid as hell with the water hair, and it just looks clunky.
I think that for a fairy type, which you have to keep in mind, I think it looks rad. I think I would put...
There are fairy types. There are fairy water types that don't look clunky and stupid.
I could offer a C.
I don't think it looks...
No,
I would agree with C.
D. The
I would
highest
agree with
I would
C.
go with D.
I think C. I mean, it's a fun design. I like the owl Pokemon, though.
I like Decidueye. I like Rowlet. I would go B.
I think A.
I could kind of agree in A. Bottom of A.
Yeah,
Bottom
I would
of A.
say
I agree
A.
with that.
I would think it's I think it's better than Totodile, but that's my opinion.
What do you think, Nick?
I just think Totodile is very bland, and Rowlet has such a variety of things it can do.
Tell you what, I kind of like Decidueye better than Feraligatr, so I would posit that it is better than Totodile.
Fine. It hurts.
It's tough. It's tough. I know. It's tough.
Boy.
I think Litten goes in the middle of B.
Middle of B?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, no. I'm gonna have to voice my opinion here, and y'all can put it where y'all want.
Not like you haven't the whole time.
Yeah, but still, this one I'm gonna have to put my foot down. Popplio is stupid. Litten is not better than Cyndaquil. Litten is probably better than Oshawott. Not as good as Snivy. That is where I would.
I mean, we can go back and like compare.
It's got the
Pokemon.
weird feet hands that look like they're giant mittens on it, and it's like wailing its arms in
Because
a weird
it
way.
evolves into Torracat, and Torracat is just a
Once
big ass
again-
luchador
Once
cat
again,
who
they
spits
shouldn't
fire.
have put it on 2 legs. It should have been a cool fire dark saber-toothed tiger.
It is a fire dark type.
It should have been a fire dark saber-toothed tiger on 4 legs. not on
Maybe
2.
so, but for what it is, I think that it's still good. I think it's better than Typhlosion.
No.
I think it goes mid B.
Is it better
I
than
don't.
Snivy?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. But
Okay, here's how we make this argument. Better than Snivy. Okay, what was better than Popplio?
yes.
Yes, it's better
Better
than
than
Popplio.
Fennekin.
I would
Yes.
agree it's better than Fennekin.
Tepic.
Yes.
Oshawott.
Yes.
No.
Snivy.
Yes.
No.
I think it's better than Cyndaquil.
I do
Is it better
not.
than
I will
Piplup?
not concede better than
I might even say better than
It is
Piplup,
not
to
better
be
than
honest.
Piplup. It is not
I
better
do kind
than
of have to put
Piplup.
my foot down. I don't think it's better than Piplup.
I think it
agree
belongs
better
in
than
B.
I can agree better than Cyndaquil.
Y'all are way too nice to these Pokemon.
I agree. I like them. I think that they're cool.
I know where I want to put these fuck boys, but
I think they both go in D because I'm
Well,
going to make the
Hitchcock,
argument right
me and
now.
you are the-
Salazzle goes in E.
Hitchcock, 2 against 1. I agree with Chikorita and Chespin being an E.
I think Salazzle
I
belongs
think
in
I'm
E.
more. I mean,
Because of how bad Salazzle is,
I would have put it in D. I think Sobble's a cool Pokemon.
I think it's horrible.
I think its middle evolution's stupid.
I think all forms of that Pokemon are awkward. I think that they're not starter worthy, and I think that they're goofy.
I will concede that, but Chespin has to go also in that
Nick,
category.
post a picture of its final form. I don't think I actually remember what it looks like in its final form.
For are you talking about
Just post it in Little Boy Zone.
hold on.
This will be how I make my decision.
Did I type in the wrong?
Because I know its base form is stupid.
I would agree that
Sobble.
it's in the E form, but I do not. I think that Chespin
No,
should be
E
there
is no
with
longer
it.
E. It is bad.
I think Chespin should be with it though.
I don't know. I
just
kind
an
of like
awkward
I
Pokemon.
kind of like Chespin's final form. It's
I
not a
don't.
lot.
I think its final form doesn't even keep its color pattern that it originally had.
He's just so fucking doofy.
I don't like the
think
design.
that they both should be in the bad tier.
So I haven't really played this. I've only played a little bit of Sword and Shield. What's its typing?
Its final typing's grass fighting, but it's not even a physical attacker. It's defensive.
The doopy fucking whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, just water.
It's so fucking fuck this guy.
Could we put Chespin? Can we put Chespin in the bad though?
I think that no, because Chespin's better than Chikorita. I think if any of them, Chikorita goes down.
Nick, post all three forms of Chespin. I have to see it.
Chespin?
Yeah. I think we all agree this goes here bad.
I agree
bad.
with that.
Yeah, for sure, just bad.
In fact,
I think you'll let y'all's nostalgia take over the fact that some of these are just awful.
I'm not letting my nostalgia take over. I think
Poplio in C tier.
I don't hate Poplio. I don't
should.
love it. I don't love it. I mean, if we're moving stuff from D to bad, I think we can put Poplio in the beginning of D.
I would agree. That's where I said Poplio deserved to be in the first place.
But I don't believe that it's on the same level as, like it's not near as bad as like Sobble and Chikorita.
Chespin is still as bad as Chikorita.
I don't think so. I think that Chestnut is way cooler
I think
than...
its mid-evolution is real doopy.
He is a little doofy.
But the final form is kind of sick.
But the final form is cool.
It doesn't keep its color pattern.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It looks
brown and
stupid.
green. It just loses the orange.
It's whatever, but okay.
But I mean, even that is still in kinda with the little.
I mean, I would posit this actually, as I'm thinking about it.
I'll concede if Poplio goes in the D tier with it.
Poplio's in the D tier, but Chespin moved up to C.
Chespin should still be in D. I will not give.
I think Chespin is better than Poplio.
It is
but
better.
I'm
but I
looking
think
at the
D.
design from first to final. I like its final design.
I like its first and final. Its middle is kind of the way they combust.
I would actually say that Poplio is better for its game, though. Chespin does not do good in the Kalos region. Because you're fighting against a team that the main evil team uses all fire types.
Any rebuttals?
I'm looking up Chestnut's typing.
It's
grass
fighting.
Yeah, grass fighting.
It doesn't do anything for the main villain.
I think that Chespin is a better Pokemon than Poplio, but I would agree that Chespin can go in D.
Okay.
Above Poplio.
I can agree with that.
Because you also have to look in how good they are in their game.
This is Grookey, and I can't remember that.
Scorbunny. Scorbunny.
Scorbunny, B. Not it. May be better. I think it's better than Lit.
Just from looking at its base design, because remember, I don't. This is Sword and Shield's where you lose me.
It's better than Litten, in my opinion.
Hey, I would posit that Scorbunny is better than Cyndaquil. I don't think it's better than Litten.
I think it does its job better than Litten. So here's my argument. One, it gets the same ability that Froakie gets, where it changes its type to the last move it used. Absolute broken ability. 2, it's faster. 3, it gets tons of fighting moves, dark moves. It just has a wider variety of moves, and it is amazing in Sword and Shield. It is the best starter to choose if you're wanting an easy game.
I didn't.
You cannot say the same for
Scorbunny, to be honest.
What?
I didn't pick Scorbunny, to be honest.
I didn't my first go around. I chose Grookey.
I think that because Litten gets the additional dark type and Cinderace is just a pure fire type, I think we've got to stick with that organization right there.
I disagree on the fact that his dark type doesn't. All it does is give it more weaknesses and not really any big advantages.
But it gives it stab moves with dark type. I think that that's important.
Yeah, but Scorbunny gets stab moves with every move it does.
But if it changes after every time, so I don't think you ever get stabbed.
If you use the same move back to back.
But that's a hindrance, in my opinion. Because then you have to use 2 moves in a row to get stabbed, when it could be the difference in 1 move versus, dying the next round before you get it off.
I don't think Litten should be in the B tier, but okay.
I think objectively it's better.
Okay. I could even argue this, kind of.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Cyndaquil is kind of basic.
Cyndaquil is probably...
Design-wise, I like Litten more than Cyndaquil. If that's a deciding factor.
I don't. But Hitchcock, if you want to hear my personal opinion,
I do like Typhlosion, though.
I don't think Totodile should be in the A tier, but...
Where do you think he should be?
High B, the highest of the B.
What do you think?
I just don't think any of the Johto starters just stand out and do... They don't do anything special that none of the other starters don't do better.
I think that Totodile is just rad design, and I think that its design alone puts it in A.
You can't just look at design. You have to look at the game.
That's true. But, it's a middle-of-the-road starter. It's a middle-of-the-road starter, which puts it at B. Its moveset and what it does for its game puts it at B. But its design, I would go A to A+, so I think that averages up to just barely squeaking in the bottom of A.
Design-wise, he's an S for me. But I think he belongs at the bottom of A.
I think he goes there, too.
Y'all fight amongst this boy. I'm going to be able to only offer design.
I think that Grookey is better than Rowlet, worse than Chimchar.
No, God, no.
I loved Grookey.
First of all, he has that... I hate Pokemon that have props. I really do. Like, Pokemon that have props like in the battle that take up the frame with his drums. It would have been fine if it was like he didn't have that and he just had the drumsticks, but the drums are clunky. B for me. I think it's better than Litten, not better than Scorbunny.
I think for sure. I can't not say, because the drums aren't in its design. That's what's important for you to know.
It's not better than Rowlet. Rowlet is a superior grass type.
I think that it is better than Rowlet. I'm sending the whole evolution line now. I think it's a dope.
It's kind of got a... I do like the color palette and like
it's middle design. Here's the thing. All of Rowlet's evolutions, in my opinion, look decent. His middle evolution does not look good.
I disagree. I think his middle evolution's good.
And not to be contrarian with you, Trent, we mostly agreed. I kind of like it.
I think Rowlet's middle evolution is far worse than...
Okay, put it around.
It should not be in the.
We're gonna have to make it. We're gonna have to make an argument here. We're just gonna have to compare and contrast.
Literally, Rowlet's middle evolution is an awkward teenage phase.
I don't know. I like that middle phase.
I like it because it goes from its whole ordeal was it meant to be like a cute little owl, then like an emo teenager, and then to like a goth adult. That was its whole evolution design.
Still think that Grookey is better.
I'm gonna side with Trent here.
I think Grookey would have to go in B tier for me.
I think Grookey belongs in A.
I think top of B.
I agree. I can put it at top of B. I think Piplup's better, but I would concede that it goes top of B.
Yeah.
I'm reserving A+, and S for like Pokemon that I hold to high regard, and I'm not even positive I would put Totodile in my A tier, but
okay.
This is a consensus.
I'm gonna pause it. This is tough. We're gonna now go down the list and like rearrange a little bit. I kind of like this a bit.
I agree with that.
If you're doing it off of form, yes, but battle tactic wise in their games, you can't beat Marshtomp.
You're kind of right though. I mean, they're definitely both S tier.
If I'm gonna be completely honest here, Hitchcock. How this is, and y'all can disagree because this is a group. How I would arrange S tier would actually be would be Marshtomp, Froakie, Trico. Just on the fact,
Trico though, fucking
Sceptile, Trico, Gruvile are my favorite Pokemon, but they are not as good in their games as the other two are. It does struggle a little bit more than the other two. specifically since you have a fire type.
I would agree with this.
Mudkip's just significantly better in the Hoenn region.
This one's tough. The S tier is tough.
I'm sorry.
I fully think it's Trico.
I mean, at this point, I could even posit this.
The three we have in S tier are the only I'm willing to say to belong in that S tier.
We'll come back to S tier. Because that one's right.
I do not think Trico should be number one.
I do.
I love it. It is my favorite Pokemon. It just, based on how good they do in the games, Trico struggles compared to the others two in S tier.
I just didn't really struggle with him that much, though.
I didn't either.
But I'm not saying it was a hard struggle. I was saying that you could solo Kalos and Hoenn with Mudkip and.
But I don't think we're looking at it like. Well, then again, we kind of have to. We're comparing them all together.
This is how stringent you have to be in the S tier though, because they're all highly regarded. You could solo both of those regions with those two water types. You couldn't do the same with Trico because there's a fire type gym. And if you play Ruby, you're facing off against a fire type team.
I mean, we could kind of cop out here and say once you get into S tier, it's no longer like order ranked.
If we're going to do order here, I think Mudkip, Froakie, Trico. I don't see Trico being better than the other two. In the S tier group. It does belong in S tier, though.
It just doesn't feel... It feels wrong. I feel dirty.
It does feel wrong. It does feel wrong, but it just struggles a little bit more.
At least he's in S tier. I'll take that.
It is an S tier.
My boy is in S tier.
It is not even close to dropping to A+ tier. Like, these are such high above the others, but he's not as good as these others.
We're now going to compare A to A+ to A. Anything going up or down?
No.
No, I think I'm okay with that.
I
almost want to put Turtwig in front of A+, but that's just me.
The only thing I would argue is I think Torchic does its job better than Charmander. If you take out nostalgia, Charizard has a ton of weaknesses.
I could see.
I think that
okay. So this is
a 4 times weakness to Rock is a pretty big disadvantage for its
Rock is so not prevalent in most of the games.
In Gen 1 it was.
I still think because the only thing and the only reason that it's hard to rank the first 3 starters is that they've appeared in so many games after it. And when you get to like Mega Evolution,
let's take out Mega Evolutions. Maybe we do a future video where we rank all Mega Evolutions.
I could do that.
If you take out Mega Evolutions, until they gave Charmander and Charizard that power boost, Nick, he was honestly around B area. And I will say he's in A area for nostalgia, but I do not think it's A+. He just has too many faults and weaknesses. He's not real fast. He looks cool as crap, but he's relatively also the worst starter for his respective game.
I'm looking at Charizard versus Blaziken right now.
And plus, Blaziken gets that cool speed boost. And I would even make the argument, too, that maybe Chimchar in the place of where Torchic is, and Torchic stays in A tier.
I want to remind you of something really quick, though. Charizard has a faster speed than Blaziken.
Blaziken gets speed boost.
That's true. But still, you said Charizard was slow, and it's not.
Relatively to all the other Pokemon.
Charizard's got a 100 base stat speed.
But did it have that in Gen 1?
Yes.
Or did they up it?
I'm looking at base stats.
For Gen 1, not just the now. Because Charizard has gotten tons of boost because it is a fan favorite. That's why I got 2 freaking Mega Evolutions, which I think is retarded.
Well, it's the only Pokemon to get to other than Mewtwo.
I don't think Mewtwo should have gotten 2 because I think one of its is derpy.
Well, it's just a more psychic type.
I was talking about the fighting psychic one.
Well, I mean, that one, at least the Mega does something. The psychic Mega is just a more psychic.
I think we need to trim down the A+ tier, and I think Charmander's the one that needs to get trimmed down.
I don't think that if you account for every other game that it's appeared in, that you can lower from A+.
Until you get Mega Evolutions, name one game Charizard just would excel in.
I think there are multiple instances where
Completely
it could.
ignore nostalgia. With its moveset and everything, name one game it does well until it gets Mega Evolutions.
I think that you could do well in...
But well enough to deserve A+ tier.
See, that's just it, though. I think that what's important to remind yourself is that there are multiple factors going into it.
That's why I say it should be in top A tier. But relatively, it is not the best Pokemon. A weak rock move takes it out. It loses its resistance to electricity due to that electric moves due to that flying type. It doesn't gain any of the resistances from Dragon, even though it should be a Dragon. Its moveset until later
you can't even talk really about its moveset. It learns all of the strongest moves in Gen 1. Except for Psychic type.
I just don't think it's deserving of the A+ tier, and I love Charizard. No.
Damn it.
Hitchcock, you're the final tie. Does Charmander, disregarding nostalgia, does he deserve the A+ tier?
No. I actually kind of don't like Charmander that much.
Okay. You want to put him in A?
Yeah, like they're classic designs. Like you cannot.
I think Chimchar's better than it, but
I'm not even going there. No,
what do you think?
I still think it goes in A+. So, there's no way.
Well, it's a democracy, and you get out.
I like Torchic more. That is partially nostalgia because I probably played those of all the Pokemon games I played. Those are probably the ones I played the most.
I will state this: the reason I argued Chimchar over Torchic is because if you played Emerald, the final gym and the Elite Four final member is a Water type, and that kind of hurts it. While Chimchar does pretty good throughout the entire game, but Blaziken also gets some really heavy hitting fighting moves that takes out a lot of those Water Ice types. I'm fine with where it stands right now.
I could probably move Popplio up. I'm thinking about it.
No. Okay, we compare an A tier to see if they deserve to be an A.
Yeah. I mean, I am a stern believer. Totodile belongs at least in A somewhere.
End of A, I'll concede that.
Hold on, I'm gonna posit something here. I need to go to Blaziken actually, because this is a different story. And I need to check something.
Well, whether you think Torchic should be an A+, I do not think Charmander should be an A+.
I don't think that Torchic belongs in A+, and but here's why. I need you to tell me...
I could argue this.
Let me hear what his argument is.
Torchic, or Blaziken, I should say, learns a single... Looks like, aside from a stat-affecting move, it learns 2 fighting-type moves.
Nick, if you're going to compare Torchic and Blaziken and them, based off its generation, you have to give it its future generations too. If you were
I am. I'm comparing both. The moveset by level up is the same.
Yeah, it's
for
later
generations.
Fighting moves, Sky Uppercut and Double Kick.
That's correct.
Two of really
Double Kick is objectively bad.
Sky Uppercut is objectively a really good move.
It's not even as good as a Flamethrower. It's an 85 power that misses 10% of the time.
The only argument I could see here then is Chimchar goes above it because he gets better fighting moves. But
I think that for A tier, I don't think that Blaziken goes to A+. I think that Chimchar is above Torchic and Charmander is above both of them.
No.
That's my positive.
Chimchar is better than Charizard.
I would agree to that, but I think that
it gets more coverage. He can learn all the punching moves such as Thunder Punch, Ice Punch.
It gives him a lot of coverage. I think there's a hidden ability that I think that Chimchar has the hidden punching ability too, right?
It does Iron Fist. It increases all punching moves by 50%. I could not see putting Charmander on the top of A tier. Chimchar is better.
Technically we're missing a starter.
Pikachu doesn't count.
Pikachu's not a starter.
Count. Excuse me, Pikachu does count.
Pikachu's not a starter.
He does count because he was a starter.
If you're gonna do
objectively, hold on. I'm gonna make this argument. Pikachu is not a starter because you can catch Pikachu on a round.
Not in yellow. You can't.
That's the only game where Pikachu. That's pretty much the only game where you can't catch a wild Pikachu.
If you're gonna claim Pikachu as a starter, I will argue this: Pikachu deserves to be in the bad tier because Pikachu is relatively a bad Pokemon.
I don't think I agree with that.
It can't take hits. It has barely any coverage. It goes down with just one hit. It's a big glass cannon.
You have to look at the fact that Pikachu can evolve, and though in one game you can't evolve it.
Raichu's not much better.
Raichu is a better Pokemon.
Anyway, we're not talking. He's not on this list. Anyway, I'll concede where we're at with the A+, and A.
I'll concede with that.
Wait, why is he not on the list? Is he not a? I mean, he's a starter.
He's not a starter. He's not a starter.
He's kind of a starter by technicality, but
yeah, there is a. I have the gold version where he is a starter.
It's not gold.
I don't think it really counts.
Well, excuse me, yellow.
B tier.
But it's not a. No.
I mean, I don't think Grookey should be above them. Any of them.
I personally do.
I would concede it should be at the bottom of B tier.
I would not. I think that Grookey's better than each of those.
He's got a sick design.
He's got good moveset, and he does well in his game.
I mean, I at least think Piplup's better than Grookey.
I can agree with that.
I agree.
All right, I'll pause that.
Piplup is better. Just because Piplup can learn Ice Beam and could take out Garchomp in one hit if it gets a good Ice Beam off.
I still think that Scorbunny is worse than Litten.
I can.
Not in my opinion, but y'all two can argue it. If y'all disagree, y'all disagree with me.
I think you're too focused on what Litten could have been, rather than what it is.
I don't think Litten does its job good.
I think that Litten does quite well.
Anyway, C tier.
This one is kind of hard for me because I don't really think this boy. I like Typhlosion a lot.
I think Snivy's better.
I think Tepig should be in D tier.
I kind of agree with that.
All of its evolutions,
or at least
all of its
evolutions.
I'll concede bottom of C.
All of its evolutions look stupid.
I don't fully agree with that.
It doesn't do good relatively in its game.
You did quite well for me.
Nick, you know how to play the game.
Just saying.
I think it's top of D.
I think it's bottom of C.
Nick, Hitchcock, have you seen the evolutions of Tepig?
Send them to me. That'll be the final decider.
Send it to him, Nick.
Because y'all, I wanted to be the voice that's kind of looking at it design-wise. Like, primarily. Because y'all are primarily focusing on, like, their use
Well, I also
cases.
have the bias that back in the day, I played competitive. So I'm also basing this on how good they are competitive.
Because I'm probably the most casual Pokemon player.
You were basing it on competitive, you would have made a lot further a case for Empoleon. Empoleon was really good.
I'm basing it off of a lot of the game, too. But that's also a lot of the reason I think Charmander doesn't deserve to be that high. Because it's horrible competitive.
I don't think that competitive is an objective way to look at the game.
It's just one of the criteria that I said I was looking at. That's also why stuff like Score Bunny's B, because if we were basing completely off competitive, Score Bunny would be an S.
Okay, from a design-wise, this is a personal opinion. I don't hate this.
It's a pig line. Tepig, Pignite, Embor. I think that it's an awesome design. I think that its moves, its set is a little weak, and it's still a cool Pokemon. I don't love that it's a fighting type.
Okay.
But it's cool.
Here's how I'm gonna posit it. My person, not thinking competitively, its abilities, anything like that. Starting from its starter, that's cute as shit.
I like the original
Adorable.
starter form.
Middle
That
form,
looks stupid.
I don't hate.
I like Pignite.
It kind of keeps the cuteness. His face kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I think he's cool.
But like I like the general vibe, and that final form is kind of sick.
It's cool. I like it.
It kind of reminds me of like a Ganondorf.
If we're gonna argue that, then I do think Finnegan should be in D tier. Then
I disagree with that too. I think Finnegan is a good Pokemon.
Honestly,
Psychic is still with Ghost, with Dark, with Fairy. I still think Psychic is a really good type, and
it is a really good type. I just think it is a knockoff of a rare Pokemon they announced at the end of the last generation. They literally had a Psychic Fire type that was a Fox in the last generation that was a rare Pokemon, and then they made a Fire Psychic Pokemon as a starter.
I think it's cool.
Y'all can keep it there, but
I mean, if this was a personal tier list, I don't see any Pokemon in below D except for I don't see any of them in D except in D or below except Chikorita and Sobble.
I argue every day
that
Chespin should be in bad, but I was outvoted, so that's fair.
I don't agree with that. I think Chespin's cool.
I don't. Well,
I would concede that Finnegan is worse than Tepig, but I still think Finnegan belongs in C.
Well, that's the tier list. I'm happy with the tier list.
I can live with that.
A few of them are too high for my liking, but
I'm good with that. We could do legendaries now.
we need to go.
Maybe in a later video.
Jakey's been messaging me.
All right. That being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Let us know what we should rank next. Give it a like. Give it a comment. Ring the bell. Anything else to add, boys?
I will fight any man or woman or whatever you are. I don't care. You could be a raccoon. If anyone tries to argue that Treecko does not belong in S tier, you can huff my shorts and die in a hole.
I agree with that, Septile Daddy.
All right. Enjoy your evenings, and see you next time. Bye, everyone.